Thank you. Trustee Casay? Present. Thank you. Trustee Laux is absent. Trustee Biondo?
Here.
Thank you. Trustee Biondo?
Here.
Thank you. I'd like to know Attorney Moran and Treasurer Gaffgar are with us as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'd like to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Clerk Perillo, would you like to make the announcements for this evening, please?
Yes, thank you. The next upcoming Village Board of Trustees meeting will be the organizational meeting, beginning at 5:00 p.m. on the 1st of July. The July work session meeting will begin at 5:00 p.m. on the 10th of July, and the July agenda meeting will begin at 6:00 p.m. on the 31st of July.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
I'd also like to make an announcement now, just off the agenda, to congratulate our own Deputy Mayor, Rebecca Cassay, for winning her primary last night. And it was a crushing defeat. It was a landslide. So congratulations. You did clearly a lot of hard work to get where you needed to get to achieve that victory. So hats off to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And I thank the community here in beyond Port Jeff. My 4 years here, I'm going to try not to get emotional tonight because it's my last meeting here.
Get emotional.
This community has taught me so much. And over the past few weeks, as I approach the end of my term here as deputy mayor, I've had a lot of residents thanking me, and I can only give that gratitude back and then some, because this community has taught me so much about the strength of putting aside partisan politics and coming together and working on real community issues. And that's really been a practice that I dove into here in the village, and was surrounded by wonderful people, and intend entirely to carry that practice on as I hope to move towards the state assembly and continue serving this community and others. So thank you so much.
Thank you. I'd also like to take a brief moment to recognize the gentleman sitting to my right, Drew Biondo, who stepped up and volunteered to step into the position of trustee that was left vacated when I became the mayor. And he didn't have to do that. His schedule is really very, very complete without sitting in as a trustee of the Village of Port Jefferson. So, Drew, I just wanted to, on behalf of the Village of Port Jefferson, you've been a very dedicated public servant for the past year. And I appreciate it. We appreciate it. We appreciate you. Thank you very much. If you want to say a couple of words, you're welcome to.
I just want to say thank you for the opportunity. It has been a great experience working with all of you and working for the village, and kind of writing government and maybe making it a little better and operating a little better and having things move forward. I think I can say over the past year we've accomplished quite a bit. And one of the prime things that happened in this past year, I think we're going to appoint our new Board of Ethics, and it's so important. And to be perfectly clear, why is it important? It's important because now folks will get ethics training every year, so you'll get to really understand what the rules are, and then you'll have a place to go to ask questions. I can tell you, I've been in my present job for 5 months. I've already asked the county for 2 opinions on things that go on, or things that I might be involved in, or things that I've been asked to do or serve on other committees and things. So it's a good resource, and it's there to help keep government running in a straight line and everybody doing what they should be doing. And many times people, you should ask questions because you might think something is okay and the ethics rules might say otherwise, and it might be not so clear cut. And then the other side of it is ask the question, because then if the board rules, you have the piece of paper that says, I can do this. So I'm looking forward to swearing in the board members tonight and setting the village off on its on this new journey. And thank you very much for the opportunity to serve.
I can say we're also looking forward to you as a volunteer in the future.
That's one of the things I had to ask about.
Exactly. So I also want to take one moment to recognize two faces in the crowd tonight who will be joining us up at this setup DS in the next couple of weeks. And that is in alphabetical order, Mr. Kyle Hill, standing in the back. Kyle, you want to stand up? Trustee-elect, congratulations on your victory. And Zina Ugrinsky, trustee-elect. Also want to thank Marie Parziali for throwing her hat in the ring and making this a real race, so that was exciting. But congratulations to both of you, and thank you for your commitment and your dedication, and we look forward to working with you starting July 1st. So, welcome. Okay, those are all the off-agenda items I have for this evening. So, we'd like to start with a proclamation to a very significant member of our community, a young man by the name of Garrett Simcoe, who on Saturday, June 8th, I and Trustee Cassay had the honor of attending the Boy Scout Troop 45 Court of Honor for the presentation of the Eagle Scout Award to Garrett, who earned the rank of Eagle Scout with Troop 45, Boy Scouts of America of Port Jefferson, at the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship at Stony Brook. It was there that I met him, was so impressed with the ceremony and all that he had done to achieve this award that I invited him to come back to his home village and accept a proclamation to recognize this Eagle Scout Award honor. And I also welcome members of your troop and your leaders, your troop leaders and your family members. And I'd like to welcome you to come on up while we read this proclamation to you. All are welcome to come up. Garrett's mom. Let me think about this. If the trustees would like to come around and join me, that would be great. Face the okay. All right, you're very tall. Come on over on this side. Come on over this side. All right, this is Jewel. If you can you? I guess the sound will project. Whereas the designation of Eagle Scout represents the highest level of achievement and is a symbol of a Scout's dedication and leadership, skills, and commitment to serving their neighborhood, community, and entire region. And whereas being an Eagle Scout is about character development, leadership skills such as teamwork, communication, and responsibility, and making a positive impact on society. And Garrett Simcoe has proven himself to be an outstanding member of the Boy Scouts of America in achieving the highest rank of Eagle Scout. And whereas Garrett Simcoe was further granted the Silver Palm, which is achieved by completing 15 merit badges beyond those required for Eagle. He was granted membership into Scouting's Honor Society, the Order of the Arrow, and in 2022, and has been a senior patrol leader in Troop 45 for 3 years. And whereas Garrett Simcoe's Eagle Project, are you ready for this? Was a large undertaking of refurbishing a memorial garden at his church, the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship at Stony Brook, during which he led and managed one former troop member and fellow Eagle Scout, as well as 8 Scouts, along with 6 adult leaders, and fully planted and coordinated numerous tasks such as power washing and cleaning existing stone benches, tables, and a gazebo, constructing a wooden archway entrance, reconstructing a slate pathway, adding numerous native plants, and building a bat house to control insects, bringing the garden to its fully refurbished state. Whereas Garrett Simcoe has earned the rank of Eagle Scout with Troop 45, Boy Scouts of America, which is the highest award a Scout can receive, as only approximately 6% of all Boy Scouts are granted this distinguished rank. And therefore,
On behalf of the Board of Trustees and residents, be it resolved that I, Lauren Shepro, Mayor of the Village of Port Jefferson, on this 26th day of June 2024, do hereby congratulate and recognize Garrett Simcoe of Boy Scout Troop 45 for his achievements of attaining the rank of Eagle Scout, and to recognize his numerous successes and to express our pride in you as an important member of our community, extending Garrett Simcoe our deepest appreciation for the dedicated work and time towards the betterment of the Village of Port Jefferson. Garrett, congratulations.
I'm very proud of Garrett. He came a long way. When he was younger, there was quite a bit of struggles, but he's overcome all of them, and he ended up leading other children to. He understands their struggles and he leads them, and it's amazing to see him lead because I remember when he was a little boy. So it's very, very proud of him.
Very good. I didn't expect you to do that. All right, thank you so much.
Thank you
for
so
being
much.
here.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Now for the next exciting portion of our meeting tonight. On our agenda is we would like to have our oath of office ceremony for the Board of Ethics members. Do we have a point of order first?
We do,
Clerk
Mayor,
Perla?
thank you. We have a resolution appointing the following 5 village residents to the Village of Port Jefferson Board of Ethics: Paul Braille, Doreen DiBiase, Maria Nita, Nicole Palumbo, and Carol Papapietro. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. And now, with that business done, we'd like to invite in an individual by order of alphabetical last name first. We'd like to invite each member of the new Board of Ethics to come on and be sworn in by Clerk Perillo. Just a quick note that this inaugural board, each member who was selected to be on this board, to serve on this board, all volunteered they nominated themselves to be considered for the board, and the Board of Trustees individually met and interviewed each member of the current board that's being inducted tonight, and we are so pleased to be able to have come to a consensus, and we thank everyone in advance for being here tonight. For those who could be here, Paul Braille is at his daughter's high school graduation, so he's excused. But we thank everyone in advance for their time, efforts, and dedication, and we do also thank those who volunteered to be considered for the board that didn't make it this time, but we appreciate you and hope that you continue to look at other volunteer opportunities because you will be welcome to volunteer for the village. So, and we'll be looking into that after the really 4th of July. We'll be really taking a stronger approach to bringing these boards and committees further together. So, without any further ado, Clerk Perillo, would you like to start the swearing-in process?
Thank you. I would please with Doreen DiBiase.
Jewel. Clerk Perillo, we do have these booklets for the new members, so. There's a few extra there. That is our plain language guide to get started. The work has begun.
There'll be a test.
Thank you. Also, just a shout out of thanks to our Village Ethics Council, Stephen Leventhal, for helping us see this through to this point, and for continuing to work with us on the training and the process for this new Board of Ethics. So thank you to Stephen. Okay, I see that next on our agenda is the Public Safety and Welfare update with Chief Andy Owen, Suffolk County Police Department representative. Could you come on forward? And Jim Murdaco. You know, Jewel, do we have a microphone for this? Can we move that? That's portable, I think. Andy, I think we can move that. Yeah. Okay, perfect.
Can you hear me? Is it all right? Singing. Oh, well, congratulations to everybody. This is a very exciting evening to be here. A lot of new things. My name is Officer Casey Berry. I'm from Suffolk County Police Department, 6th Precinct, Culp Office. And what I usually do every month, for those of you who don't know, is I talk to you about the crime in the community, in the village, what's occurred this past month, and I compare that to what's occurred in this village last year, the same period of time. So the time frame that I'm looking at is the dates from May 29th to June 26th. And the total calls for service last year, 2023, were 378. And this year you had 366 total calls for service. Now, in terms from those calls of service, we've had some incidents where crimes occurred and people were arrested, or maybe are going to be arrested, and there are active investigations. And I'll delineate the different kinds of crimes that we look at. One of them being aggravated harassment. That's where somebody feels alarmed or annoyed by somebody. We don't have any of those reported this past month rather. That's a good thing. Last year you had 2 of those reported. Assaults, there was 1 assault that occurred last year and 1 this year. Something happened at the rink where there were parties hanging out, and another unknown party jumped somebody and an injury was sustained. That person has been arrested. Burglaries, you had none last year, none this year. Criminal mischief, there were 3 last year and there were 10 this year. What criminal mischief is property damage, anytime somebody's property is damaged in any sort of way. The different types of things that occurred were, there's a dentist called Dentally Driven. The sign was damaged overnight. A brick was thrown through a window at 50 Barnum. The gates at PJ Crossing were damaged, and some vehicles within that parking lot were damaged. People tried to break into those cars. CNC Collision, same kind of thing. Somebody broke into their property and got into some vehicles that were in the parking lot. And most other criminal mischiefs that were reported were domestic in nature. So domestic meaning known parties, significant others, or family members, where somebody damaged that person's property in the house. It could be husband, wife, and somebody broke their laptop or their phone or something. And there were, again, 2 more. Now, this is also related to our larcenies that were reported. There were 4 reported last year and 3 this year. Now, when somebody reports a crime, I could report in my driveway, somebody broke the window of my vehicle, and in breaking that window, they also went into my car and stole things out of my vehicle. So we have a couple duplicates in nature. So there were 3 of those, 3 larcenies that were reported. They were all from people's vehicles in their driveway. Not all of them were even locked, but they were damaged and things were taken from the vehicle. So I say this almost every month. I say to all my meetings that I go to, villages, civics, lock your car doors in your driveway, lock them in the parking lots of wherever you are, Starbucks, 7-Eleven. Things are getting taken from vehicles, as well as vehicles are being taken with the car running and the key fob in it. So just a reminder to take care of that. Harassment, there were 5 reported last year, 9 this year. Harassments where somebody is alarmed or annoyed and there's usually some sort of contact, spitting, kicking, something like that. You had 9 that were reported. They were almost all of them were domestic in nature, where some, individuals punching each other, hitting each other. The one thing that was reported was down by Rocket Ship Park. It was youths with each other having a disturbance, argument, fight, and they were shooting those Orbi gel guns, if anybody's familiar with them. We have a lot of issues throughout our 6th precinct community where we have a lot of youth who are kind of going around using these fake guns that shoot these little Orbi pellets at other individuals. So we wanted to let you know that happens. What else? We have menacing. We had 1 reported last year, 0 this year. Robberies, none last year and none this year. So your total criminal incidents were 29 last year and 37 this year. Non-criminal incidents that were reported were 349 last year and 329 this year. Again, this is just a time frame of May 29th to June 26th. I love reporting that there were no overdoses or fatal overdoses in Port Jeff Village. Your motor vehicle accidents, you had 35 last year, 27 this year. And your total number of arrests were 6 with 6 charges, and 17 this past month with 20 charges. So that's it in terms of our crime stats. I wanted to report back to, so there's something called patrol checks for those of you who don't know. The police department creates something called a patrol check when you guys advise us that you have a problem in your community that's a chronic issue. And I want to report back to those problems that have been brought to our attention that we have conducted some surveillance on and done some enforcement. So one of them was speeding on Loretta Gate. I don't know if, Suzette, are you here?
No.
Suzette was here 2 months ago. Okay, so she brought that to my attention 2 months ago.
She's traveling today,
Oh,
so
good
she
for
couldn't
her.
be here tonight.
Good
Yeah.
for her. Okay, well, if she can see it online, actually,
Yeah.
right? So we checked that she reported speeding on the street where she lives. So we've been conducting enforcement. We've done many different stops. 2 summonses have been issued, or obviously maybe just our presence has deterred the speed from occurring because we are in marked vehicles when we're doing it. So we've been doing enforcement there since April 24th. Doyle Court. Neighbors around Doyle and Rosita report concerns about vehicles that are parking in no parking zones, a lot of fishing happening maybe overnight. So we have our Midnights very aware of this, trying to patrol the area and enforce the illegal parking that's happening there. We've had this all over our North Shore communities. It's very frustrating for us, to be honest. We have a lot of checks there. We've only written 1 parking summons. We haven't really observed all that much activity. If anybody in this community here does live in that area, please feel free to call us when you do see it occurring, because we're not always able to see it when it's occurring, even though we have these patrol checks and we're trying to increase our presence. And then final, you're gonna love to hear this one, the noise disturbance. So the noise disturbance, the muffler noise, right? We've been talking about this for quite some time. It's been brought to our attention. Obviously, we've been conducting our enhanced enforcement. We've also had our command staff in the precinct also create initiatives where the officers in the community have been advised to focus on the muffler noise for just certain periods of time. 65 summonses have been written. Yeah, that's been since about March, but still, I mean, that's a good number of summonses that have been written, and 4 arrests. Now, not necessarily related to the muffler noise, but if somebody has a vehicle, it obviously is now committing that sort of violation, and now we're pulling the person over and having a conversation with them. Perhaps there's a warrant for their arrest, perhaps there are other things that are occurring that could lead to an arrest. So that's always nice to report. Again, we can't do this great work without you reporting to us what you're seeing and hearing, in addition to what we're doing, what we see when we're patrolling the area. So thank you for that. Arthur, I wanted to get back to you, sir. 2 months ago, I think it was, that you brought up your concern about emergencies, natural disasters. Arthur was here saying, I kind of want to know, what does the police department do? What's your procedure? Because, we had this wacky earthquake, and how do we get notified? So I wasn't able to answer the question because I wasn't 100% clear in my capacity what the police department does with respect to that. And it's not necessarily a police department role and responsibility for those kinds of things. That usually comes through Suffolk County government, which isn't necessarily a police department. And it also depends on what's occurring. So sometimes Homeland Security might take the lead. Sometimes it might be us. Sometimes it might be, it could be any number of agencies that would have to be responsible for conveying the information. So it was hard to get a direct answer because it really depends on what it is. But what I did want to come back with you to you and report that you could sign up for alerts is there's something you guys can look up online called Suffolk Alert. And that's through New York, our Suffolk government. And it's a way for you to get notifications firsthand if you do sign up for it. So feel free to look that up. There's a website. I believe you put in your phone number and you get text alerts immediately. And now through the police department, we do have something. I have flyers here I can leave somewhere if you give me direction after I leave. We have our Nixle notification system through the police department. You would text, and again, this is on the flyer, but you text your zip code, which is 11777, to 888-777. And you would get alerts from us about all sorts of things related to the police department. And that could include road closures related to a major accident, whether it's, the Long Island Expressway, if there's a fatality, if it's somewhere in your community, if there's a fun community event with your community officers, like a coffee with a cop, we put that on there. I'm a community officer. All sorts of things we try to communicate to our community through that text alert system. Okay, so I wanted to get back to you and not let you think I forgot about you. Okay, I just wasn't here last month. Okay, I'm glad you're impressed. So that's all I have for you guys this evening. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns for Suffolk County Police Department, let me know. Okay. Oh, go ahead, sir.
Charles Brock, 307 Myrtle Avenue, Port Jefferson. I don't think I need a microphone. In the past, you've done some enforcement at the intersection of Myrtle Avenue and Belterre Road, where there's a traffic light. And almost daily, people blow through that light when it's red. And I mean, it's red to the point that it's going green in the opposite direction. I haven't seen any enforcement in quite a while, but I know in the past you've done some enforcement. You parked in the auxiliary lot for St. Charles to watch that light. I'd like to see some enforcement in that area.
Okay, Charles, thank you.
I would add that entire hill.
Okay.
Coming down, there's a
Myrtle
stop
or-
sign at Myrtle and
Yeah.
High. People blow that stop sign.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
I'd love to express gratitude for your work bringing the message from this community about the loud mufflers. That is something that sort of people who don't experience that regularly, they're like, oh, it's noise. But we know here in the village where many of these vehicles are attracted to come anytime during the day, anytime during the night. It's a real quality of life issue. So I'm so grateful for that. Were the 65 summons and 4 arrests, was that just this month?
No, that was since the onset of the patrol track, which was mid-March.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So no, that's wonderful. And like we've discussed, hopefully that sends a message through the communities of these folks with these cars that if you go down to Port Jeff, you might get a ticket. And if you got something else going on, you might get arrested. So maybe don't come down to Port Jeff with that vehicle. So thank you so much for that.
I have a rhetorical question, but important nonetheless. Doesn't anybody stop at stop signs anymore?
I feel like they say it's
I've-
not even slow down anymore.
I've been walking, and some areas without sidewalks, some areas on the street, and they, as Charles was saying, just blow through right through the stop signs.
Yeah, to respond to that, I mean, it really unfortunately is a very ubiquitous issue, throughout not just the 6th precinct, but the whole county. Speeding, reckless driving, what factors attribute to that? We know there are multiple, and we are doing our best to conduct enforcement as much as we can when we're not responding to 911 calls. That is also why we rely on the community though to bring up specific locations because we can only do so much when it's everywhere.
Yeah.
Stop signs it's terrible. I see off duty, on duty, it's really terrible. And the car accidents have obviously increased.
Sure.
The severity of the car accidents and pedestrian accidents, kids walking around, please be careful, everybody, pedestrians, especially in Port Jeff Village. I mean, so few people are actually paying attention to the roadway, it's scary. So we're doing our best, but I think it's definitely a universal issue throughout our communities.
I have a comment, also an expression of gratitude. To follow up on what Trustee Cassay has said, is it's been noticed that there's additional presence in the village. And whether it's perception, it appears to be the reality. And we really appreciate our relationship with Suffolk County Police. We appreciate their support and their dedication in our village, and the concern that they've shown to our village by this additional presence. So I just wanted to pass that message along. It's been mentioned to me by many people in the community.
Patrol officers who are the ones that are doing the hard work. and
Please
our
do.
commanding officer for sure, Inspector
Yeah.
Bronco, absolutely.
Yes, thank you.
I'm glad. Thanks. All right, everybody be safe and have a happy 4th.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Mayor, members of the board, residents, our report for May. Events that happened in the past, the Mount Elementary School walk run was May 17th. We had no incidents or issues to report. Parking ran actually very smoothly up there. I think people up on Scraggy Hill are getting the idea where they can and cannot park. So hopefully that's making the residents happy. Mather Hospital walk run, we had May 19th. Again, no incidents or issues to report. We were assisted by Suffolk County, so I want to thank them. They helped us direct traffic, block streets and whatnot, so that went over well. And also we had the library park dedication on May 31st. Again, no incidents or issues to report. Upcoming, we have the 4th of July fireworks, which are actually on the 3rd at East Beach. Just know that parking at East Beach and the area is for residents only. So we're going to try to pack as many cars as we can into that area. Just I ask that everybody has their driver's license, a valid driver's license with their Port Jeff address to make parking smooth. If you would do that, please. And then on July 4th, we have the parade down Main Street from North Country, Sheep Pasture Road, down to East and West Broadway. Just expect heavier traffic that morning, and also traffic detours. It's pretty much the same thing as every year. We'll have Suffolk County as well involved with us, and they'll help direct traffic around to get to the ferry and whatnot. So those are the events that we've had and are upcoming. Our incident recap report for the month of May. 51 total incidents that we responded to. We were assisting AIDs, noise complaints, and assisting other agencies with the big responses that we had. I guess I got to tell you that we enjoy getting involved with the other agencies in the area, whether it's FD or EMS or Suffolk County. We enjoy helping them out, and we're there for them if and when they need us. Our summons recap for May 2024. Total summonses written were 589. Majority written for overtime parking in meters, uninspected vehicles, overtime parking on the street, and parking without a permit in our resident lots. 36 total warnings were issued in addition to those 589 summonses. Be advised, meter parking is in effect throughout the village and all the lots, and we are enforcing that. And time parking on West Broadway, East Main, and Main Street as well. Beaches are open. Parking is available for residents. And like I said, please have your driver's license when you go down there. There's the lifeguards are going to stop the vehicle because you don't have the tags anymore. And just to check your license, just to make sure that you are a valid resident and you can park down there. The ALPR survey, our PJ3 car has a license plate reader attached. 136 passes through the Arden resident lot. PJ3 was in service 55 times for the month of May. 67 summonses were written for parking without a permit. So we're being active in that lot there, and hopefully people get the message that you do need a resident permit to park in that lot. I'd like to call up Chief Investigator Judy Madaka with the FAQ report.
Good evening, Mayor, good evening, Board. Our numbers have increased again for this time period. Our quality of life officers that were plainclothes have been focused again in the uptown area, but again, a lot more time has been spent down in the lower part of the village because of the active nightlife. At this time, we've written 28 FATs, spreading from disorderly conduct, open alcohol. 7 of those were directed towards the noise with the vehicles as well. So out of that 27. The numbers have increased because of the warm weather.
The volume of the meeting is very
low. Main Street at night, continuing to meet with the store owners.
Thank you.
I always like to close up our Facebook page. We're up over 420 some odd people that have joined our Facebook page. It's official Port Jeff Code Enforcement Bureau. So if you want to know what's going on, what we're doing, we send out important messages and items of interest. Official Port Jeff Code Enforcement Bureau. If you do need to contact us, reach out to us. The phone number is 631-774-0066. Oftentimes I'll come into my office and there'll be 3 or 4 messages on my office phone. That's a different phone number. So if there's something going on and it needs immediate attention, we're here from 10 a.m. till midnight. Please call 631-774-0066. Someone will answer the phone and give you the assistance that you do need. And if I'm not available, you can always email me, aowen@portjeff.com. That's aowen@portjeff.com. And last but not least, if there is anything of a non-emergency issue, we do want to get Suffolk County involved. We do want them to know what's going on in and around the village. That's 631-852-COPS. 631-852-2677. Any thoughts, questions, concerns, anyone? All right, summer's here, enjoy it, have a good time, and be safe. Thank you.
And other task forces that aren't listed. I'd like to see some public information about who the people are. The Parks and Rec Council, that website lists beautifully the names of the people, their duration of their appointments. And I looked for everybody else, and I found the ZBA and the planning have the members listed, but I can't find anything else. So I appreciate all the hard work getting everybody involved, and I'm happy to help if compiling information is needed. So thank you for your time.
Thank you.
I hope you're not discouraged from participating.
No,
Oh,
she's
good.
already
It
expressed
takes a
interest
lot.
in other
I
things.
give you a lot of credit for coming forward, and thank you for participating in our government.
Any other comments from the residents? Yes.
Charles Brock, 307 Myrtle Avenue, Port Jefferson. I have a couple of things. I don't really have any questions for the board or the mayor, but I do have a couple of statements. I don't know who interfaces with the MTA, but the grade crossings both on Main Street and North Columbia Street need some serious maintenance. In some places on Long Island, they use like a rubber matting at the grade crossing. At our grade crossings, they use steel plates. And particularly on North Columbia, the steel plates have risen up. And they're getting close to the point where somebody's going to get serious damage hitting that steel plate. And they're not going to go down, they're just going to keep coming up further when they get hit. And if somebody's fortunate enough to own a Tesla, you're going to get a horrible surprise when you have to replace a tire. So I don't know who interfaces with the MTA, whether it's Public Works or individuals on the board, but somebody needs to be in touch with them and say, you need some maintenance.
Okay.
I think you have a few other grade crossings, but they're minor grade crossings. These are the major ones, and they both need maintenance. The other thing is I've listened intently both to your work sessions and your public meetings on the YouTube, which I find very beneficial. And I listened to the presentation from Maggio's, I guess he's a district manager, and I believe there was some discussion at the last work session. And personally, as far as I'm concerned, from Maggio, it's a lot of double talk and contradictions. I don't see anything in their proposal that's beneficial to the residents of this village. I see some things that are beneficial to Maggio because they're going to make less pickups. So I would seriously consider that you reject their proposal or at least give it a lot more thought, because I see nothing in it for the residents, not a thing, just more profits for Maggio. The other thing is traffic light. There's a traffic light on the intersection of Myrtle Avenue and Belterre Road. Years ago, I came to meetings and I requested that a left turn arrow be put there when you're going westbound on Myrtle to make a left onto Belterre Road. And that was done. And it's been extremely efficient. It's particularly efficient when the elementary school dismisses and buses and teachers and a lot of people are making left turns. It used to be suicidal before the arrow was put in there. The problem that exists now, and that's a squirrely intersection. It's not parallel and perpendicular like most intersections are. The problem that you have is people coming eastbound on Myrtle who want to make a right turn onto Belterre Road. 50% of them don't even stop for the red light. They make the right turn without even stopping. And the other 50% that do stop, they look over their left shoulder to see if there's anything coming southbound on Belterre Road, and then they make the turn. Meanwhile, you have buses and traffic who have a green arrow, who are trying to make that left turn. So what's needed there is a red arrow on that light facing people going eastbound on Myrtle, so that when you have the green light for the left turn, the people who are coming eastbound have a red arrow so they do not make that right turn. Because sooner or later, you're going to have a serious accident there. I've had a couple of cases just last week, had to jump on the brakes for a big truck. I was making a left turn on a green arrow. The truck actually stopped at the stop sign and then proceeded into the intersection. And I had the right of way. So that's something, it's not something you have to deal with the state or the county. Those roads are village roads. That's something that can be affected by the village to put a red arrow on that light.
We'll look into a solution.
Thank you.
My name is Ron Fine, 19 Waterview Drive. I'd also like to talk trash. I'd like to support the contention that Maggio's apparently is not responding to some of the concerns that residents have. I don't produce enough garbage to support having twice a week regular trash pickups and once a week recycling pickups. But I'm paying for that level of service. I know in other parts of Long Island, other trash companies have allowed residents to adjust the number of pickups they have, and the fees that they are charged have also been adjusted. I'm wondering whether or not it's possible for the Village of Port Jefferson to negotiate something with Maggio's, if Maggio's is the only carter that is authorized to pick up trash in this area, to allow for more versatility, more flexibility when it comes to fees that are being paid by the residents.
Thank you.
I'll just throw it out there. If you have good neighbors who also don't produce a lot of trash, there can be other ways to explore mitigating.
We could do that, but that's a little awkward.
Speaking for a friend? Yeah. Any other public comment?
Yeah, if you said you might want to. Yeah. All right. I just wanted to follow on with what, Andrew Thomas, 1037 Main Street. I wanted to follow on with what Mayor Shepro was saying earlier, thanking the outgoing trustees for their service. This is supposedly a part-time job, and what we see here in the public-facing portion of it is the tiniest minority of it. I am privileged to have seen much of it behind the scenes and know that the difficulties that go to our elected officials are not the easy things. Those are the ones that get sort of solved on autopilot by a government that's doing good work in its daily affairs. It's the difficult questions that involve listening to people and balancing equities and making hard choices and doing one's homework and having difficult conversations, and how much of passion goes into this kind of service. And I just want to again thank both of you, on this, the last opportunity in the office.
Thank
So
you.
thank
That's
you.
Very kind of you. Thank you.
You have to disclose your relationship with the outgoing.
Sorry. I thought that was implied by the behind the scenes.
Just
I'm
kidding.
married to departing dead.
Just kidding. He's biased, everyone.
I think he was mostly talking to Drew, though.
Arthur Epp, 206 East Main, and you know he better be biased. Mayor Shepro and village trustees, I come before you tonight equipped with a copy of the most recent iteration of our local village newspaper. The photograph on the cover of this newspaper captured both my attention and my imagination. It's been said so many times that a picture or a photograph can provide 1,000 words worth of information. I tend to be a contrarian. So with respect to this specific photograph, let's show it for our trustees, I'm going to say it represents one solitary but very important word. And the word I'm referring to is community. Community is a word that has a primary and a secondary definition. The primary definition of community is a physical definition involving the location of several people in one general area. The secondary definition of community is immaterial. It involves a spirit of fellowship among people. If you have a physical community that does not have the spirit of community, you have a potential fiasco. But if you have a physical community that has the underlying spirit of fellowship and community, you have a refuge, and you have something that can be called shelter from the storm. A British author recently had a great quote about the current times. He said that resentment used to be something that folks tried to get rid of. Now we water it, put it on our windowsill, and treat it like a prized potted plant. I believe this century began as the information age, and then as social media took hold, we became the age of anxiety, and now we're living in the age of resentment, where widespread we see an aggrieved population. The fact that 3 of our candidates could assemble on a sunny day in front of our port, knowing that when the music stopped, one of them would not have a seat, knowing that they had disparate views, yet they came together with this obvious, beautiful moment captured of fellowship and their desire to pursue the greater good. I consider this a roadmap for a better future. The problem at the moment is we have difficulties navigating through our differences. This is the roadmap to get to the other side and be better. And I want to thank all 3 people in that photograph. I want to thank Zena, I want to thank Kyle, and I want to thank Marie, because I've gotten to know them all to varying degrees, and I think they're all wonderful people. And regardless of 2 of the 3, any 2 of the 3 we would have benefited. And I know Marie, not having been elected, will still be a major part of our village moving forward. So that's the first thing I had to say, is this beautiful photograph. I hope a year from now, people just don't say, wow, that's a great photograph. I hope they say, that's a watershed moment.
Hmm.
At this point, I want to thank Trustee Biondo for your service the last year to our community. I wish you the best of luck with LIPA as well as the police department.
Thank you very much.
And many other things that you might undergo. And I have to say a few words now about Deputy Mayor Cassay. Again, referring to this newspaper, a previous iteration, several months ago, I read 4 paragraphs or so that you had published in the paper. I perceived it as your personal mission statement. I really appreciated what you had written, and one sentence particularly resonated with me. You said that in your public service, you learned to listen deeply, and that this was a most important part of your service which you had learned. I thought that was fantastic, because that's at the core of public service. Doctors have to listen to their patients, attorneys have to listen to their clients, and those who pursue the most honorable path of public service need to listen to their constituents. And you get that, and I commend you for that. Secondly, I know you have eclectic interests, but the interest that you will be most remembered for is your environmental prowess. Personally, you taught me what a rain garden is. I'm still not sure what a vegetable swale is. It sounds like something you have in your wardrobe, but I'm working on it. Okay. Okay. This came at the most important time for our community. And with respect to this specifically, and let me figuratively say, you've been not only a breath of fresh air to our community, but a refreshing drink of water as well. And in ending, I've talked to you about it specifically. I don't know if I've ever spoken about it on public record, but I live in Port Jefferson Village, and I also live in Charlottesville, Virginia. Technically, I have a Charlottesville address, but I really live in Albemarle County. The reason why I mention it is Thomas Jefferson, after he finished serving in the Second Continental Congress, after co-authoring the Declaration of Independence, which we celebrate next week, served as a delegate in the Virginia House of Delegates for Albemarle County. Jefferson himself served the ancestors among my neighbors where I live. Now, he went on from then to become governor of Virginia, Secretary of State, Vice President of the United States, and the 3rd President of the United States. A pretty good path. Now, the Virginia House of Delegates compares to the New York State Assembly. It's functionally its equivalent. And you will quite possibly and probably be joining that wonderful institution. So knowing what I know about Albemarle County, knowing what I know about Port Jefferson, and knowing you, I want to declare that I think you now walk the path of Jefferson. And this is one of the most honorable paths anyone can walk in politics. And I just hope that all the obstacles put before you are easily surmountable. And I know you have a pragmatic side. And I hope that that pragmatism allows you to mold the idealistic side you have into palpable reality. I'm confident you're going to represent us beautifully, and I wish you the best of luck, and thank you for representing us as Deputy Mayor.
He has such a way with words, does he not?
We expect you to wear a powdered wig now.
Yeah. And, you know, there's a picture of Thomas Jefferson. We're looking at it while we're
And a
listening
fox
to
collar.
Arthur. May I echo a little bit about I never as eloquent, but I do want to thank you for bringing some of these environmental resilience, climate resilience studies and the USGS and Sea Grant. I thank you for putting Port Jefferson on the map where they're concerned. And we look forward to continuing the good work that you started and bringing these studies and programs to fruition so that we can take the next step and really do the work needed to do to figure out the flooding issues and how to mitigate them in Port Jefferson. So thank you. Any other comments from the public? Yes, sir. Hello.
Rob Grimm, 18 Pine Hill. I just have a garbage point. I listened to that whole thing last week and I found it very confusing. And then I put out my garbage, 2 pails of garbage out last week. And I put it out on the wrong day. Being old, I guess, I got the wrong day. And I put it out, and a couple hours later, I said, oh, I got to put this back in the house. And they were both emptied. So they came on recycling day and took my 2 things of regular trash and dumped it in. And listening to what he had to say, if we move forward with that, if everybody, the residents like me, see that I put both my cans out, recycling and regular, and they're dumping it in the same truck, people are not going to recycle anymore. I mean, I look at it and I don't care what he said. I can't picture anybody sitting there saying, oh, this is the trash, the bag's not going to rip, and this is the recycling that sits on top. I just don't see it happening, and that's just my opinion. But thank you.
Thank you. Just again, for future reference, we will be planning a field trip to the plant in West Babylon. No, Kachog. Yes. So look for that announcement coming soon. Okay. One more shot at public comment. All right. Thank you. That closes the public comment portion of our meeting. And we have on the agenda a motion to enter into executive session, but no executive session today. So hallelujah. We just cut 3 hours off a meeting. That's hyperbole, but yeah, well, that's executive session, Rebecca, not to be revealed. All right. Oh, well, we have, so action items. Can we jump to the action item portion of the agenda?
Yes, ma'am.
Clerk
Thank you.
Perillo.
We'll start with, of course, with resolution number 1, 62624. Resolution approving the minutes of the May 29, 2024 and June 12, 2024 meetings of the Board of Trustees of the Village of Port Jefferson. May I have a motion?
Motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Resolution number 2, 62624. Resolution approving the following actions as recommended by the Parking Committee per letter dated May 23, 2024. Recommendation number 1, regarding the homogenization of timed parking signage. Recommendation number 3, regarding a hang tag style parking pass for Belterre residents at a seasonal fee of $100, which can be utilized in the Village of Port Jefferson for pay parking lots and cannot be utilized at village beaches, and also cannot be utilized to provide access to resident parking. Recommendation number 8, removing the parking space in front of Billy's. May I have a motion?
Motion?
Second.
Discussion?
Discussion. Just one of the points there, recommendation number 8. I was at the parking committee meeting yesterday, and we discussed possibly turning that spot into motorcycles only spot, motorcycle parking only. But in researching that, we cannot do that.
Correct.
So,
Okay.
so the recommendation stands that we're going to eliminate that parking spot.
The homogenization of timed parking signage, I just wanted to cover that a little bit with everyone, and the trustees have a map that was created by our clerk's office that transcribed what the homogenization looks like. And homogenization is a word, I guess, that means they will all read in a uniform way so that it is not to be confusing anymore, because a lot of these signs on East Main Street, Arden, both sides of Arden, Broadway, Main Street have all different language and describe things differently, like only on Saturday through Sunday or Monday through Sunday. And so these are messages that we don't need to indicate on these signs. Some of the signs indicate only daily except for holidays. Which holidays does that mean? We don't know. There's so many holidays now, and holidays can be interpreted any way. We also want to reinforce that parking on these streets, and there are extra maps up here if any of the public would like to see them. Actually, we'll put this up on our website as well. Parking on these streets is enforced 24/7, 365 for residents and non-residents alike. If you have a resident tag or a resident permit, it does not entitle you to park on these streets. These are to the letter of the word managed parking. They are restricted to the amount of time and the days that they are indicated, and no wavering. There's no I have gotten questions. I don't know if you all have, but we've gotten questions from residents and from others who parked during the time frame when managed parking isn't enforced, when parking lot parking isn't enforced between December and March every year. It is still enforced on Main Street, East Main Street, Arden. It's enforced at all times to all cars, all people, all vehicles. So just to reinforce that. So if anyone has any, if the board has any further questions about this.
Just have a question on Arden in front of the post office. Are we retaining, I believe there's currently 2 or 3 post office spots that are intended for post office use that are 15-minute, I believe.
East Main Street?
10 minutes?
East Main?
Sorry, East Main.
Yes, those will be retained.
All right, so
those will not move.
Very good, thank you.
Okay. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Resolution number 3, 62624. Resolution approving the request of Stephen Munoz on behalf of the Port Jefferson Retailers Association to initiate a busking pilot program per the attached, with performances on Saturdays and Sundays from noon through 4:00 p.m., and with the pilot program scheduled to terminate on October 31st, 2024. The Village of Port Jefferson reserves the right to terminate this pilot program at any time, for any reason, at its sole discretion. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Resolution number 4, 62624. Resolution approving the renaming of Caroline Avenue Park to Haywood Park, as recommended by the Parks and Recreation Advisory Council. May I have a motion?
Motion?
Second.
Discussion?
Just to be clear, I'm the liaison for the parks. Joe Erlin Field will remain Joe Erlin Field.
That's correct, yes.
So we're not changing the name of
We are
the
not.
ball field.
Mm-mm. So it will be Joe Erlin Field at Haywood Park.
Correct.
Okay. And as it states right now on the signage outside of that park, it says Joe Erlin Field at Caroline Avenue Park.
Right.
Right. Okay. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Resolution number 5, 62624. Resolution approving the renaming of Surf Avenue to Mayor Bob Strong Way, to commemorate Bob Strong as the mayor responsible for the purchase of the former mobile property, now known as Jean Garant Harborfront Park, as recommended by the Parks and Recreation Advisory Council. May I have a motion?
Motion?
Second.
Discussion.
Just for clarification here, is this the roadway near the village center?
Yes, it is.
Very good. Which?
Coming off of East Broadway.
Yeah.
Through the village center and down towards Centennial Park.
Excellent. So I don't, I know I, for one, was not highly aware that it was already called Surf Avenue, so I don't think this will cause a great deal of confusion. And now hopefully just have clarification on Google Maps when you actually have to get somewhere there.
That's going to
Thank
be
you.
the next step. I just want to also make a note, Clerk Perillo, for the record, that it will if the resolution can be amended to Mayor Robert T. Strong Way in a formal way.
Yes, thank you, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Resolution number 62624, resolution approving the attached agreement between the Village of Port Jefferson and the Port Jefferson Harbor Education and Arts Conservancy, Inc., and authorizing Mayor Shepro to execute the agreement between the Village of Port Jefferson and the Port Jefferson Harbor Education and Arts Conservancy, Inc., on behalf of the Village of Port Jefferson. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
A discussion? Okay, this is an update of a previous agreement that's been amended to reflect current day. Do we have, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Can I just interrupt for 1 second? I was remiss at resolution number 5. I wanted to recognize Robin Strong and her husband, Robin Zabowski, and her husband, Robert Bob, are here today, and I wanted to call attention to them and thank you for being here. The daughter of Mayor Robert T. Strong. So thank you for being here, Robin, representing the family. Thank you. Sorry to interrupt.
Resolution number 62624, resolution approving a payment of $75 to Sandra Ramos Connor for the provision of translation services related to a required election legal notice. May I have a motion?
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Resolution number 62624, resolution accepting the letter of resignation submitted by Constable Matthew Clennon from the Port Jefferson Code Enforcement Bureau effective May 31st, 2024. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Motion carries.
Resolution number 62624, resolution accepting the letter of resignation submitted by Maggie Loscavo as a recreation aide in the Village Center effective June 12th, 2024. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
I just want to note that Maggie has put in many, many years of service to our residents at the Village Center. She's always a smiling face and someone who's very aware of what was going on that day, could advise properly, and became a good friend over the years of just popping in there. So I want to thank her for all her time and service to the village.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank
With
you.
regret.
Resolution number 62624, resolution accepting the letter of retirement submitted by Deputy Chief John Barrero from the Port Jefferson Code Enforcement Bureau effective May 27th, 2024. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
On the motion, I just
Yeah.
want to thank John, and hopefully that in the future the board can do something to commemorate his years of service to the board. He was
There is a plan
Okay.
coming together
Good.
for recognition of Deputy Chief Barrero.
well
Yes.
deserved. So decades, yes.
Yeah, 42 maybe, something like that.
41 or 2 years,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. So all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Resolution number 62624, resolution approving an increase to $140,415 from $122,100 to the annual salary of Superintendent of Golf Patrick Sullivan, owing to the assumption of additional duties and responsibilities effective July 4th, 2024. May I have a motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Resolution number 62624, resolution approving an increase to $96,200.66 from $83,652.75 to the annual salary of greenskeeper Jeff Welsher, owing to the assumption of additional duties and responsibilities effective July 4th, 2024. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Resolution number 62624, resolution approving an increase to $77,249.88 from $72,249.88 to the annual salary of labor crew leader Jarrett Hafner Enriquez, owing to the assumption of additional duties and responsibilities effective July 4th, 2024. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Why are those two numbers the same? Am I reading that wrong?
No, it's 77 to 72.
Oh, okay. I am reading it wrong. Apologies.
Very
The
close,
difference of
Drew.
$5,000.
Very close.
Yeah.
5,000. Second, do we have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Resolution number 62624, Resolution approving an increase to $51,645.99 from $49,145.99 to the annual salary of Assistant Labor Crew Leader Dennis Bernier, owing to the assumption of additional duties and responsibilities effective July 4th, 2024. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Resolution number 15-62624, resolution approving an increase to $54,789.28 from $52,289.28 to the annual salary of construction equipment operator Matt Molander, owing to the acquisition of substantial expertise in his area of employment, effective July 4th, 2024. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Resolution number 16-62624, resolution approving the hiring of seasonal part-time summer camp counselors Catherine Nielsen and Brielle Procaccini at an hourly wage rate of $16 per hour effective July 1st, 2024. And ratifying the hiring of part-time seasonal planner Joshua Thomas for the building department at an hourly wage rate of $21 per hour effective June 17th, 2024. And approving the hiring of Sherry Willie as the weekend building manager at the Port Jefferson Village Center at an hourly wage rate of $19 per hour effective July 6th, 2024. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Resolution number 17-62624, resolution approving the event application submitted by Christina Erland in conjunction with 17 homeowners to hold a block party on Corey Court from 11 o'clock a.m. through 11 o'clock p.m. on August 3rd, 2024. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Resolution number 18-62624, resolution amending resolution number 12-22824 regarding the planning of the proposed 6-acre park to include the title of Director of Building, Planning, and Environmental Services as a signing authority as required by the New York State Office of Parks, Recreation, and Historic Preservation. May I have a motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Resolution number 19-62624, resolution authorizing Treasurer Gafka to perform attached budget amendment number 39, increasing anticipated revenue in the amount of $13,305 in line item H 5031 interfund transfer, and increasing appropriations in the amount of $13,305 in line item H 719721 PJCC capital improvement to golf course, and requesting that budget amendment number 39 be included in the meeting minutes of the June 26th, 2024 meeting of the Board of Trustees. May I have a motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Resolution number 20-62624, resolution authorizing Treasurer Gafka to perform attached budget amendment number 40, increasing anticipated revenue in the amount of $28,000 in line item A 1740 on-street parking fees, and increasing appropriations in the amount of $28,000 in line item A 9950.9 interfund transfer, and requesting that budget amendment number 40 be included in the meeting minutes of the June 26, 2024 meeting of the Board of Trustees. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Resolution number 21-62624, resolution authorizing Treasurer Gafka to perform attached budget amendment number 41, increasing anticipated revenue in the amount of $28,000 in line item H 5031 interfund transfer, and increasing appropriations in the amount of $28,000 in line item H 3320.21 parking capital improvement, and requesting that budget amendment number 41 be included in the meeting minutes of the June 26, 2024 meeting of the Board of Trustees. May I have a motion?
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Resolution number 22-62624, resolution authorizing Treasurer Gafka to perform the attached budget amendment number 42, increasing anticipated revenue in the amount of $60,000 in line item A 2012.001 concessions caterers, and increasing appropriations in the amount of $16,000 in line item A 3320.21 managed parking equipment, $11,000 in line item A 5110.2 highway equipment, $25,000 in line item A 5110.1 highway full-time, and $8,000 in line item A 1990.4 contingency expense, and requesting that budget amendment number 42 be included in the meeting minutes of the June 26th, 2024 meeting of the Board of Trustees. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Can I just ask Treasurer Gafka to explain that one.
Yes, this is involved in the fiscal 2025 budget. I had anticipated revenues for the concession from the caterers for Danfords, what they pay us for the lease at the Waterview of $300,000. And rereading the contract, realized that that amount actually escalated this year to $25,000 up to $30,000. So it's an additional $60,000 in revenue. So what I have to raise that revenue so that we can increase expenses across the board to reflect that increase in monetary funds.
Is that why you're in such a good mood today? Thank you. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Resolution number 23, 62624, resolution authorizing Treasurer Gafka to open a new accounts payable bank account and create a new general ledger account, TA.0202, to be known as accounts payable checking. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Just a question, which institution is the new account being opened in?
We're gonna open this in Flushing. And the reason for that is that all of the other accounts each have an account in Flushing already. So it's gonna make the accounts payable clearing a lot easier and no fees to do the internal transfer.
Excellent. Thank
Excellent. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Resolution number 24, 62624, resolution authorizing the solicitation of a request for proposals for engineering design studies to determine possible hazard mitigation actions and programs related to New York State Homeland Security and Emergency Services Grant Number 4480-0031, initiatives for flood reduction studies. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Resolution number 25, 62624, resolution approving the check register and warrants dated 6/24/24 as presented by Treasurer Gafka and as approved by Claims Auditor Goodwin. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. We are dispensing with resolution number 26 to enter into executive session. Therefore, we have resolution number renamed.
Before
26.
we close, may I just say one thing?
Certainly.
I just want to say thank you again to the mayor for placing your trust in me. It has been a wonderful experience. It really has. And thank you to all the people who work in our village. I know I didn't get to meet a lot of them, but those that I did are really committed servants who are dedicated to doing the right thing. And it's just been a joy to work with all of them. So thank you.
Thank you, Drew.
Thank you. Lastly, resolution number 26, 62624, resolution to close the June 26th, 2024 meeting of the Board of Trustees at 7:41 p.m. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
That's a record.
Thank you
It's a
all.
wrap.
Thank you.